You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, there's been nothing more controversial this weekend than Shedeur Sanders dropping in the National Football League draft. And the reaction to that has been all over the place. People that nobody even suspect. My God, there have been more people called racist over a quarterback dropping in the draft than I just can't even imagine it. It's people have lost their minds. Mel Kiper Jr. has had multiple strokes, it seems like, on television, including today. And we're going to take a look at that video because it's going viral. And by the way, Rece Davis of ESPN, rightfully so, put Mel Kiper Jr. in a body bag in this video. Seriously, because Mel Kiper wants to run his mouth about the NFL evaluating quarterbacks. No, the NFL doesn't have an evaluation problem. They have a developing problem. All right, they have a problem with getting quarterbacks enough reps all the way down to the third quarterback on the roster. I mean, people don't realize how few reps these backup and third quarterbacks actually get. There may be a Tom Brady on a roster somewhere, and the NFL never finds it out because the quarterbacks don't get enough reps. It's a huge problem. It's been a problem forever. And every year another crop of quarterbacks comes in, and the league cannibalizes itself continuously. I mean, seriously, it's not an evaluation problem. It's a developmental problem for the NFL. That's why they should work out a deal with the UFL and start putting some of those quarterbacks on TV so that league can kind of be watchable, because it's not right now. And we've got, and here's where we're going to start. Now, I made a proclamation a few minutes ago online, and I had a theory that just popped me right in the side of the head. They have, the Cleveland Browns just took Shedeur Sanders. We all know it. But it's a total nonsensical pick. All right? The draft room in Cleveland is a mile long. All right? I understand one of those guys is Deshaun Watson. He's probably never playing again, at least not for Cleveland. But they got Joe Flacco, they got Kenny Pickett, and where it really gets confusing is they drafted Dylan Gabriel in the third round yesterday. Just yesterday. And today, here we are drafting Shedeur Sanders in the fifth round with the 144th overall pick. And the question has to be asked, and I just come right out and said it online. We have to really wonder, was this a coaching staff and NFL personnel staff decision? Or did Browns owner Jimmy Haslam dish Deshaun Watson this whole mother effer up? All right, remember, it was Jimmy Haslam, the owner, that wanted Deshaun Watson. And bad owners, they tend to stay bad owners. And they tend to interfere. This is a reaction going around now. Warren Sharp he's actually got both these videos, but he put this up of the war room as the Shedeur Sanders thing was getting announced, and the looks on Kevin Stefanski, this is the coach's face, and the general manager, Andrew Berry, the looks are priceless. Look at their faces. That is not two individuals that are happy with this National Football League draft pick. Look at Andrew Berry. That is crazy. They're not happy right now. They clearly, let me just play it one more time. There's no damn confusion. They're not happy. Look at this. Look at him. Even the people in the back. You got one poor guy back here smiling. Was this draft pick forced? Look at this. Look at that picture. Look, right here. Thrilled. He is not happy. Andrew Berry is not, that general manager of the Cleveland Browns is not happy right now. And you got to ask yourself, why aren't you happy if you're the one that just made the pick? So now, Mel Kiper Jr. against everybody.
This is not about can you play the position. This is about do we want you to play the position for us. That's what this game.
Why wouldn't they, Lou?
Well, look, that's a whole other discussion that we've had in many different ways for weeks and months now.
This is not one of the toughest quarterbacks you know.
But no. This isn't about quarterback traits and quarterback characteristics, personal football characteristics. That's not about this. This is personal. And we know that it is
off the field issue.
Mel, you don't have to sell it to me.
No, I don't know what we're talking about.
You're right, You're right.
Yes.
You're right, but you know what? The draft is spoken.
That's right. That's the key, Mel. It's not putting a value judgment on whether those guys are right or wrong. They did.
Yep.
So now, whenever you're in circumstances in life, whether you like them, whether you don't like them, whether they're fair or whether they're unfair, you might have to deal with them.
That's
and
right.
now Shedeur Sandman has to deal with everything. And for whatever reason, whether he played a minute, microscopic percentage, 0%, or it's a legitimate criticism of the way he conducted himself during the draft process, this was the result.
Yeah.
Now he has an opportunity to answer it. I think yelling at the NFL about it is not
a quarterback. Boomer Esiason was not happy when he was a second round pick. Tom Brady was not happy. They dropped. How'd they turn out?
And you know what?
Nobody's arguing that.
My point is, Rece, the NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterback. Clueless. No idea what they're doing in terms of evaluating quarterback. That's proof. There's proof of that.
How many times
we know exactly what we're talking about with quarterback? They don't.
Nobody's batted 1,000 here. No,
that's correct, right?
I think that's
all that matters.
Let's play the last part back.
He conducted himself during the draft process. This was the result.
Yeah.
Now he has an opportunity to answer it. I think yelling at the NFL about it is not
a quarterback. Boomer Esiason was not happy when he was a second round pick. Tom Brady was not happy. They dropped. How'd they turn out?
And you know what?
Nobody's arguing that.
My point is, Rece, the NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterback. Clueless. No idea what they're doing in terms of evaluating quarterback. That's proof. There's proof of that.
How many times
we know exactly what we're talking about with quarterback? They don't.
Nobody's batted 1,000 here. No,
that's correct, right?
I think that's
all that matters now is what happens going forward. We talk about it all the time.
Wow. Rece Davis with the retort back to Mel Kiper. They're clueless, and they've been clueless for 50 years. Rece looked right at him and said, nobody's batting 1,000 here, Mel. Meaning, you have been effing this up since all of this started. And he had. Again, we're talking about a guy that proclaimed he would retire, promised he would retire if Jimmy Clausen wasn't a badass, certified badass on the field. I went and looked at his stats earlier. He was 7-14 in the National Football League. And washed out even as a backup real fast. Honestly, Rece Davis said, oh no, you're not getting away with that one. That one's not getting passed. You suck at this too, Mel Kiper Jr. And I got to be honest, Louis Riddick, he was just as bad. Some of the clips I've seen from him over the weekend, it legitimately looked like Mel Kiper Jr. and Louis Riddick was on the primetime Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders payroll. That's how bad this looked. I saw somebody earlier, a journalist I know out of Ohio, that I talk back and forth to quite a bit. She literally said, somebody, ESPN, get Mel Kiper Jr. off the set. Not wrong. Mel embarrassed himself on a whole nother level. the last 3 days. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.